2:45 to 4:45 in this room, and I have everything updated. For this review, we're not going to cover everything that's going to be on the exam, but this is a really, really good start. So as you look at this, Congress, Executive, Judiciary, Civil Rights, these are Chapter 5, Chapter 11, Chapter 12, Chapter 14. The Articles category should just deal with articles, and they could come from any of the chapters. There's 3 kinds of questions. One will have a term up there. If you get a term, well, first-hand IC gets it, and then from there, if you solve the answer, give me as much as you can, then in fact we'll stop and go forward, okay? If you miss the answer, it goes to the second hand that I see. Tram has got a big part on this in determining what the second hand is. And understand, if Tram doesn't do a good job, y'all need to yell about taking away bonus points from Tram. So she wanted to come up here. She's in the hot seat. Number 3, or the second kind of question I should say, there are list all you can. For a list all you can, this is a bigger answer. And what I'm asking is I'm going to give you the point value for every fact that you give me about a specific term or court case or article or story or whatever. Be specific. The third kind of question up here, there are 5 Pictionaries. If you get a Pictionary, somebody from your group's got to come up and draw. You got 1 minute. You get it, then it becomes a list all that you can, and then we're going to start giving away the points that way. If you miss, your group cannot answer again until the next question gets open, okay? So you can't come back that way, but the longer that you give me relevant facts, the more points you get, which in fact leads to the plus 11, the plus 13, the plus 9, the plus 7, plus 5. And you got to be positive. If you end up with a negative as far as these points are concerned, then you're not going to give you bonus points. You got to at least get something right. And obviously, if you miss, it's minus the point value, okay? It's minus the point value. So what do we have over here? We've got the chicks. So we've got the chicks. I guess we've got the dudes next to the chicks. I guess that makes sense. What do we have? It's got to be Matt Cook's group.
Yeah, Matt Cook.
Matt Cook's group, because anytime you have 2 names, the James Gang. And let's see,
Beautiful people.
The beautiful people.
Beautiful.
I can't even spell beautiful right now. Okay, the beautiful people. On the board, what we're going to look at too is, once it turns black, you don't go back. So understand on this as you look at this. You're looking at the yellow point values. Okay. Once it turns black, we've already answered it. Okay. So I'm just going to have Tram click on point 1. Tram, go ahead. Click on point 1. Congress. First hand IC. List all you can. Click it, Tram. Characteristics to hold office in the House or the Senate. Go ahead. I believe you're going to have it next.
Politician.
-1! What is that? Oh, wait, that's the dudes. And watch me on this. Joe, characteristics to hold office in the House or Senate?
25 years of age.
25 years of age for which?
The House.
For the House, go ahead.
7 years in residency.
7 years residency or citizenship for the House.
For the House.
Anybody in the group?
30 years old for the Senate.
30 years old for the Senate?
Does not have to be born in the United States.
They do not have to be born, either of them, in fact, in the United States.
For Senate, I believe it's 14 years residence.
-1! Anybody else?
2-year term.
And if something's already been said, I'm going to take away points, but they've missed. Anybody else want to say anything? Go ahead.
9 years for the Senate.
9-year residency for the Senate. Anything else? What are the term lengths? Go ahead.
2 years for the Congress. Sorry, for the lower house.
2 years for the lower house. How long for the Senate?
6.
6 years for the Senate. Anything else you want to tell me? 5, 4, 3.
435 for the.
There are 435 in the House. Anything else? 5.
Senate, 100.
100? Oh, 100. Anything else? 4, 3, 2. Click it, Tram. Touch the House. Okay, actually, yeah, that's all we need. Pick me a category. You got it right. Gotta go.
Executive.
For how many?
2.
Executive for 2. First hand I see executive order, executive agreement, executive privilege. Go ahead.
With executive privilege, they can declare war, but the president is the one who initiates it.
So executive privilege means the president can declare
No,
war?
it means that.
-1!
Come on.
No! -2! Executive privilege, executive agreement, executive order. You can use anything you've got right now. Notes, text, articles, whatever. It's no pressure. 5. Shame on you. Go ahead, King James.
Executive privilege is powers that are guaranteed to the executive, such as appointing cabinet members and.
Ooh, -2. Go ahead, beautiful people.
Executive order is to help officers and agencies of the executive branch manage their operations within the government itself.
Can you give me an example of an executive order? 5,
No.
4,
I said no.
3,
Veto power.
-2.
Ooh, bam.
Yeah, everybody stinks on this one. Executive order is where the president can actually make law that deals specifically with his Article 2 powers. The examples that I had given you, number 1, in fact, was George W. dealing with the security of the border. No, I'm sorry. Number 1 was, yeah, it was actually. Number 2 was the desegregation of the armed forces by Truman. These were examples that I'd given you, or the internment camps of the Japanese Americans. Anybody, first hand I see, executive agreement or executive privilege? Go ahead. No, you're good, Kevin. 5,
I was stretching.
4, 3, 2. Anybody in the group? 1. -2. Go ahead.
Executive privilege, the president is the commander-in-chief.
-2. Anybody? Go ahead, click it, Tram. Executive agreement, lower level treaties with foreign countries which do not require consent of the Senate. The Migratory Bird Treaty was one, and actually this was the one where I mentioned W and border security with Mexico. Executive privilege, confidentiality dealing with executive branch communications. First hand I see, what was the court case?
Nixon?
What?
Go ahead, Joe. 5. What was the court case? Your group has it.
Nixon versus United States.
United States versus Nixon. I'll cut you some slack on that one. And you now have the lead again. Go ahead, touch the house. Pick me a category. And yeah, we're good. Go ahead, pick me a category.
What do you guys want?
Gotta go.
2 for articles.
2 for articles. List all you can. Click it. Deborah Hobbs. Who was Deborah Hobbs?
Female.
You guys have it. Deborah Hobbs. This is from an article. 5, 4. From an article in North Carolina. 3, 2. Go ahead, Paco.
The officer that got fired from the police station because she was not.
Deborah Hobbs was the officer that got fired from the police station because of... Don't celebrate yet.
She wasn't married.
And what was she doing while she wasn't married?
Living out of wedlock.
She was living together out of wedlock. Yes, North Carolina was one of those states. What happened in this case? 5, 4, 3.
They revoked they overturned the law.
Yeah. Why?
Because it's not applicable anymore in the time period.
Okay. Anything else? I think I saw your hand.
Oh, I was just gonna say that she got, like, the sheriff asked her to either marry him or, like, not live with him.
The sheriff asked her either to, Matt Cook's group, are now even again, to either marry him or in fact to move out. And if she didn't, she would be fired. The sheriff ultimately fired her. What was her role? Do you remember her job?
She was the 911 officer.
She was the dispatcher, yes, 1, 2. Anything else you can tell me about this? No. Anybody else? Make sure that you pay attention to the out-of-wedlock law. You got control of the board. Pick me a category.
Judiciary for 1.
Judiciary for 1. List all you can. Click it. Ladies' night. You have it first. Wait, we didn't talk about ladies' night. Never mind. Touch the house. Pick me another category.
Judiciary for 2.
Judiciary for 2. Solicitor General. Nobody talked about this. Go ahead and click it. I'll give you the definition. This will be the only one like this. Attorney General, or the attorney who argues for the government, before the Supreme Court, considered the 10th justice on the court because of influence. Make sure that when you see the chapter, it's referenced in the Judiciary chapter, Solicitor General, because they're kind of considered a more important lawyer than others that go before the court. Go ahead, touch the House. Pick me a category again. Matt Cook's group.
Executive for one.
Okay, good. According to the text, what is, the first hand I see, the number one attribute to be President of the United States, according to the text? Go ahead, Paco.
Has to be born in the United States.
-1. Go ahead, Edson.
He has to be a U.S. citizen.
-1. They're beautiful people. Go ahead.
That in case like the two parts tie, that he's a deciding vote.
-1. Well, it's going to be a bad midterm. Go ahead. Actually, no, your group hasn't answered yet.
Courage.
Courage is the article. But what was the attribute that the text said? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
There has to be a minimum of 35 years.
-1. Go ahead.
Experience.
-1. Y'all are on record pace right now. Are y'all going to answer anything? Go ahead, click it. Number one attribute was you had to have using the persuasion. You had to be persuasive. Touch the House. Pick me a category. Somebody get something right.
Articles for one.
Articles for one. That's courageous. The top 5 American presidents. You got it. You're next.
Lincoln.
Lincoln is 1.
Clinton.
Clinton is 1.
FDR.
Yeah, he was 1.
Kennedy.
Kennedy.
And Reagan.
And Reagan. Yeah, click it. Lincoln, Reagan, JFK, Clinton, and FDR. Touch the House. Pick me a category. Gotta go.
Judiciary for 3.
Judiciary for 3. Mootness. First hand I see. I believe it is your group. You're going to have it next, Edison. Go ahead.
That the issue was resolved before reaching the court.
Yeah, mootness is the idea that an issue is resolved 1, 2, 3 before it gets to the court. Can you give me an example? And your group still has it. Anybody can talk.
Roe versus Wade.
How?
That she had the baby before the court, the Supreme Court saw the case.
So she was suing for...
The right to have an abortion.
And since she had the baby...
She could no longer have an abortion.
She didn't need an abortion, so that rendered it moot. Roe versus Wade is excellent. Any other example? 5. Anybody in the group? 4, 3, 2, 1. Go ahead. Somebody
wanted to enter the Harvard, but
Somebody wanted to enter the Harvard. Go ahead.
2 person have a similar.
You mean like Danielle and Stephanie?
Yeah.
Go ahead, explain.
But different ethnicities. So Danielle sued the Harvard because she feels she is discriminated.
I see. So Danielle does not get into Harvard, but Stephanie does. Why would Danielle feel like she got screwed over?
Because they are same score and everything's are almost the same.
But Danielle's just white.
Yeah, because she's white, so she don't feel she is discriminated.
How is that? Well, what would make it moot? What does Harvard do?
But Harvard, after sue Harvard let her enter the school. So
Let her enter the school. So what was she suing for?
for to go to school.
She was suing to go to school. They let her in before it went to court. Now it's moot, just like having the baby. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Finally on the board. Go ahead, touch it. Pick me a category. A case dismissed. Yeah, and you saw it. Go ahead. Pick me a category. Go. You guys have it. Gotta go. Gotta go. Articles for 3. List all you can. Click it, Tram. Sex offenders. Y'all have it first. Next hand I see has got it next. Sex offenders. Who was next, Tram?
It was Jeff. That's all
Jeff and then Paco. Go ahead. Sex offenders. Anybody. 5. When they wanted them to move away from schools and parks and stuff. Explain that to me. What do you mean? Anybody in the group can talk. They wanted registered sex offenders to move away from schools and parks and stuff. When you say stuff, what are they really moving away from? They're moving away from children, in fact. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, they really, really are. Tell me more. Anything else? 5.
Well, they were already they already
4.
paid for their crimes a while ago, so they can't really go back.
3. Okay, so basically they get out of jail, they start over their life, and then they make the move away.
No. The law can't go like backwards.
What's that called? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Who's got it next? Jeff. What's that called? I don't care. What's that called? -3. Golly. The dudes are really in trouble. Paco is next. What's that called?
Ex post facto.
Ex post facto law. Yes. 1, 2, 3. A law that is passed after the fact. Can your group give me some examples of some things that we talked about that would force somebody to register as a sex offender? 5. Go ahead, yeah.
Yeah, peeing in public.
Being in public. 1, 2, 3.
That's easy.
Tell me more.
Drinking coffee naked in your kitchen.
1, 2, 3. Drinking coffee naked in front of a sliding glass door in your kitchen. Anything else? 3, 2, 1. Go ahead, Jack.
Flashing yourself in public would also be considered, like running up to someone and,
Not your girl.
yeah, just, with a jacket and taking it off and flashing yourself.
Zoom in on Jack as he demonstrates this.
I am.
Okay, all right, so I don't really know what to say as far as that's concerned, but give me some things we specifically spoke about.
Well, first off, sex offenders are required to go around the neighborhood and tell everyone they're a sex offender, but that's a hard law to enforce because